Hey folks, this is Johnny back with another Impact XT 101 video for you, and this time we're going to go through the right-click options available on each pad. Some pretty cool stuff there. And before we get started, if you could, I would really appreciate it if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even join the channel and help support me that way. Or if you go into the description of this video, you will find a link to my Patreon site, which has way more benefits if you want to get a little bit back for your money. That's the best place to be. All right, so here we are. We're going to take a look at some settings in Impact for the individual pads, and some of them are repeats of what I showed you in the last Impact video when it comes to actually editing the pads. So these are something, there are a few things in this also that aren't available in that top menu, so we're going to go ahead and go through that. All right, so here we are in the classroom. And what we're going to look at is being able to edit these pads with something more than what's up here. If we right-click, here's our kick drum. If we right-click, we have some of the settings that are available up here, like the play one shot, play loop, and play normal. Those are these right up here. So now we have some things that are specific to the pads, to the individual pads. Clear bank, clear pad, paste pad, and copy. We can also rename the pad if we want to. We don't have to go into the sample. We also have a couple of Windows-like features here. We can just replace the sample and it'll pull up the selection of sounds that are available. We can add a sample, or the one that I like, to make sure that I have copied and saved all my sounds, the Show and Explore. All right. So, let's start at the top. Let's start with the kick. If I right-click and I say Replace Sample, it's going to pull up my Windows Explorer, and it's going to let me choose from anything on my computer. And remember, if you choose a sample that is outside of any one of the drum kits, make sure that once you actually do the replacement, you go ahead to the song menu, and you say, Copy External Files. Okay, that's important whenever you do that. All right, next one. We got we got Show and Explore. Now, this is awesome here. Oh, actually, you know what? I got to go back. Add sample is pretty much the same thing. That's what I meant to say. All right, so now let's see if we go to Show and Explore. Now, with this particular kit, I created a SoundX file. If you remember from the last videos, when you actually choose the little disk and you say Export Sampler File, that option creates a SoundX file. So if I go ahead and I right-click and I say Show and Explorer, boom, just like that, and it shows the actual spot where it keeps the kits that I create in Studio One. Very cool. All right, let's continue. Let's go with rename pad. So let's see. Some of these have longer names than I need. So if I rename this particular pad, I can just say kick. This one, rename snare 1, because I have a second snare right here. It's more gated. So we're going to say rename. G-A-T-E-D. Oh, hit the caps lock. G-A-T-E-D. Gated snare. Gated snare. You know, I do this at every show. I don't watch to see what I typed. There we go. Gated snare. And that's going to be a China. Rename. Just like that. And this also makes it easier too if you create a drum part and you open up this section here, which lets you actually see the actual sounds that you have. So you can see here already the names are getting a little bit better. And I can just go with this one. Can I rename here too? No, I don't think I can. Nope, can't do it there. So I would actually have to take this and just say rename. I think this is a mid. Mid. There we go. A thumb. I'm so bad at that. All right, so we got a thumb. That's all right. All right, so you guys get the general idea on that one. All right, we're going to right-click. Let's work with this snare again. We're going to right-click, and we're going to say copy pad. Now, this is really awesome if you are building the kit with some differences within the same preset. So for this, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do the kick, actually. And I got the kick here. So now I'm going to go up a couple of levels, and I want to put the kick here. So now I'm going to go ahead and put on pad focus. All right, so I want the kick here. This is going to be up my keyboard here. So if I have an 88 key or 46 key or 49 key keyboard, I can actually move some of the sounds. So let's go ahead and put the kick from A, right click, copy, and we're going to hit this, and we're going to click paste pad. Okay, now we have a kick up here. So you can do that with reassigning the actual note numbers. I don't know if you guys remember that from the last video, but I put a kick here. So now I want to put a snare here. And I'm just going by my keyboard placements for General MIDI. So here's that. So let's go back here. Let's get the good gated snare for this. We're going to say copy pad. And I'm going to want to put the snare right here. Paste pad. There we go. So what this gives me the ability to do is to copy samples from one bank to another bank. And it also gives me the ability to edit these sounds differently. So now, if I go here, I can actually edit the amp, I can edit the filter. The thing to remember here is, if I'm on, let me get back closer to the mic here. If we are on the first one, when you actually right-click and say copy pad, it's going to copy all of the settings. Everything that you have here, it's going to copy it to the new location. Now, you can't make settings on a blank pad and copy those, because the copy option isn't even available. So there has to be a sound there already. So if you want to copy a sound to another pad without the settings, there is no way to do that. It's going to copy everything, and then all you would have to do is reset the settings in the new location. Make sense? Okay, so let's go back to here. So now, other ones, we have the ability to clear the pad. Now it's gone. Now there's nothing there. So now I can go back to the first one, right-click and say copy, and now I can make sure that I fix this. Just like that. So that is clear pad. Now, we can also clear the bank. So if we go to the new sounds, if I decide that I don't want these, right-click, and I can say clear bank. But that does, oh yeah, clear all pads in this bank, yes, but that does not affect the original bank that you're working with. Pretty cool. All right, let's do the right click again. Let's see what else we got. Oh, and I already showed you these. The play one shot, the play loop, and play normal. And you can see that whatever you have set here, if I take this kick and I set it to normal, and then I right click on this kick, and you can see that it says normal. If I go back to this and I hit one shot, you can see if I right click, it goes back to one shot. So this is just kind of an extension of the settings up here if you're doing things on the fly. All right, so let's see. I think I can probably add this. So on the pads themselves, there is a solo, and now all of the other pads are muted. There is a mute, and all of the other pads are still audible. And there is a stereo and output selection button here. So let's see. So if I wanted to go ahead and re-output this, because see right now it's set to output 1, which is stereo. If I set it to mono output 1, there we go. It is mono. So you can see the little O right there, and I don't have zoom on this computer, but you can see the little O. And if I actually click on that and go back to the stereo output 1, you can see that it's got the stereo symbol, the same stereo symbol that appears on the channels. If I add an audio track, you can see that on audio tracks there is a mono and a stereo option. Let me bring this down. Oh, let's see. Did I add an... Yeah, there's an audio track. Where is the stereo button? There it is. Mono stereo. Just like that. So it is essentially the same. There we go. Now we're back to this. All right, and that's pretty much it for the pad settings. It really gives you some flexibility if you are actually doing things really quickly on the fly and you really don't want to mess with stuff up here. The basic needs of a particular way a pad responds to is perfectly available right here in a right-click menu. And of course, you have the velocity option here. If you have a particular kit where you don't want any velocity, and I did show this in the last video, but I'll show it again. Like if I hit it lightly and I gradually get it harder, now the hard hits are really loud and the soft hits are really low. If you don't want to make this change on the controller, you can do that here. So if I turn this all the way down, now if I just hit the pad lightly, it's loud. As I hit the pad harder, it's the same. So it's nice that you don't have to mess around with the sensitivity on your controller. So this really gives you a lot better expression setup in the kit itself rather than relying on the controls of the controller. All right, that's going to pretty much do it. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. There's a lot more to come for Impact. I'm going to show you how to move sounds between kits. I'm going to show you how to copy and move complete complete setups and stuff for a particular pad between two different instances of Impact. So hopefully you guys will stick around for that. Hopefully you guys got something out of this, and I will see you all in the next video.